Have you ever had to deal with an emotionally charged person? If so, you'll probably agree that it can be extremely challenging. Fortunately, though, there are things you can do to help diffuse the situation. Before I share the do's and don'ts of communicating with emotionally charged people, let me share what's happening in their brains. We all have an almond-shaped set of neurons in our brains called the amygdala. It plays a key role in the processing of our emotions. The amygdala is also known as the primitive or reptilian brain. One of the challenges with strong emotions is that they are controlled by that primitive reptilian brain rather than our more advanced neocortex or human brain. When we experience a powerful emotion, such as anger, sadness, or fear, the amygdala becomes overstimulated, locking us into our reptilian brain and preventing us from accessing our higher order brain functions like empathy and advanced thinking. This is referred to as amygdala hijacking. So, now you know what's going on behind the scenes. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of communicating with emotionally charged people. I'll start with the don'ts. First, don't lead with logic. Remember that the primitive brain has taken over and locked out their higher functioning brain. Don't say things like, "Let's think about this logically," or "Calm down and let's think about this." This is a surefire way to escalate the situation. Secondly, don't invalidate. The emotion they're feeling is real even though you may not understand or agree with it. Don't say things like, "What's the big deal?" or "You should feel lucky and blessed." These will invalidate the emotions they're feeling and will most likely escalate the conversation. Lastly, don't make it about you. Remember, they're in amygdala hijack mode. Don't say things like, "Oh, you think you have it bad, then fill in the blank." Or, "Why can't you act like me?" Again, these are surefire ways to escalate the conversation. Now, for the do's. Here's what you can do to de-escalate those conversations. First, use validating statements. Say things like, "I can see this is important to you," or "It makes sense you would be so upset about that." I'm not saying that you have to agree with the emotion or even understand it. The emotion they're feeling is real to them, so simply validate it. Secondly, use curious questions. Say things like, "How can I help you?" or "Help me understand." Questions asked sincerely show people that we are really interested in listening to them. Lastly, remain calm. I know this can be a challenge. When people raise their voices to us, we have a tendency to raise ours. Trust me though, two people who have been amygdala hijacked are probably not going to have a very productive conversation. My advice? Keep calm and carry on. So, the next time you have to deal with an emotionally charged person, avoid the don'ts and practice the do's. By doing this, I know you will have a much more productive conversation.